Welcome to Active Trader Setups Trading Setup Series, part of our Trading and Training Series Chart and Indicator Setups from Active Trader Setups Trading and Charting Package. This video is brought to you by Active Trader Setups Trading Package, a day trader setups company. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're here and go over to daytradersetups.com. You can find out more about our package under our features area, our registration area, as well as our education and training. We have a YouTube channel page that has links to various videos as well. And then you can go over to our members site. It's called tradermembers.com. Go to the products page, and we have a full listing of reference materials for our traders to access, but this page is open to the public. It goes over each of the charts and what they have on them, the indicators, the indications, how to scan for those, and so forth. First chart we want to look at tonight is STZ. This is actually yesterday morning, and we've been in a big sell-off about 4 days ago. Each one of these lines represents a day break. And this was early in the morning at 9:30. The stock had sold off hugely about 4 days ago. Another down day the next day, and it tried to bounce. Actually got back above the cloud, but it never did a retrace, and then a big upswing. So it ended up selling back off, twisted the cloud back over by the end of the day. The blue line right here crossing the yellow line is when this crossover took place out here. So by the end of the day, this was well into development over here, so indicating more down. So that day was down and a lot of consolidation, and then the next morning this opened up and it gave a bounce. Remember, these lines are on the chart prior to the open. It's our inflection point charting, and the stock gapped up. This is still 9:30 right here. So we gapped up into the inflection points, which immediately rejected on the open. So gap up right into the inflection point, immediately rejected, and sold down pretty rapidly. Of course, that's the first 5 minutes of action. Continued down, and then it gave this bounce. It's hard to catch this trade. I don't even know what the spread was. The spread, if you were on the chart at the right time, you have to choose 2 or 3 stocks and watch very early to find you a trade that early. This is a sell-off for the first 10 minutes. It reverses here, and when it reverses, we've got this. We're down below our cloud. Here's our cloud level. This yellow dotted line represents the right-hand side. So I'm looking for a rejection right here. Bounces into the line. The line value is shown in this box over here to the right. Span B is in the yellow line right here, and that line at that time was 187.43. The high of this bar is 187.49. Goes a little bit higher on the next bar, all the way up to 147.61. And the next bar puts in our reversal bar. It does go a little bit higher yet to 71. Reverses off the inflection area. And we consider the yellow lines on the clouds as inflection areas as well, but not one of our inflection points that we plot on the chart. And we get a nice sell-off. Struggles along the way. These little doji candles, it's struggling along, but it's still gaining momentum to the downside, and then it just collapses into a huge sell-off from here at 10:15 until 10:20, in about 6 minutes. You're in this trade 186 to 183.60. That's $2.50 after you already were in the trade over $1. and then it started put in a attempted little bounce here. Didn't really verify that, but it might have shook you out. Continued on down quite a bit more and then made a reversal candle. So we wanted to share that chart with you, and we'll go ahead and bring this on into the next day, which is today's date of the video here. You can see at the morning, gapped up, sold off very quickly in 2 minutes, gave a quick bounce. This is about 10:20 here, so you can see the bounce. 9:35 gave a pretty good bounce. No reason I could say take that trade. Here's a nice pullback into this cloud that's trying to make a twist. Can it hold or not? You have to watch and say, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Consolidates and then fails. Tries to come back up. What can it do? And you can see right here you got a big volume candle came in on this reversal. This is a 10 bar high volume right here. It did turn it around. Got it up through here. It took it quite a while now. You have to look at the time here. This is 12:45. This is 2 o'clock. Of course, we had an FOMC today, so that slowed everything down. But this stock gave a pretty good run after that. I mainly wanted to show this prior one. Next chart we're going to look at is LUV. We get a lot of emails and messages come in across our contact us forms on our website. How can I swing trade with your package? Your videos are always about day trading. You simply take that STZ chart and change it to a much bigger algo factor and candle size, and then you have a swing trading chart. This particular is the exact same chart we were using on STZ, but now we're on a lower ATR stock. Each one of these dotted lines represents a day change. So the charts work exactly the same, except for instead of getting that run up intraday for multiple bars, generally it takes multiple days. So you just take your lower ATR stocks and apply them to these same charts. If it's even smaller ATR stock, you go to a smaller chart. If it's a higher ATR stock, like we tend to day trade, I want to day trade stocks that can move dollars. I'm not interested in making 20 and 30 cents. So I trade the higher ATR stocks that when I look at a chart that looks like this, I may see this many candles and all these patterns that all happen in one day. In this case, this is a swing trading chart. That's another question we get asked. How do I know if my chart's appropriate for swing trading or day trading? Well, if you pull the stock up and it's got multiple lines in it, it's not a day trading chart unless you're just wanting to scalp 20 or 30 cents. And you want to be in something very quiet moving, you can do that. But this is the same patterns we've been looking at. You get this breakout through the cloud this particular day. This is 9:30 in the morning. Remember, our candles print the whole gap up because we want to recalculate all of our clouds and our lines based on all price movement. So this stock here actually gapped up right about here that morning, right above the cloud, and then gave this little move that day from $49.30 to the end of the day around $49, around $50. So about a 70-cent move through the day. Never gave you any indications of needing to stop you out. So that's how you could day trade a less volatile stock with our charts, but you would actually break that down to an even smaller candle for your day trade to manage your trade. If you're swing trading, though, you can take these setups, and as long as you're holding the areas that we want to hold, which is the top of the cloud or our white dotted line that's part of the cloud calculations, we got yellow, blue, and then we got this white dotted line as well. If we can stay in that realm, we can continue this going up. So this is how you take a setup to pick yourself up a swing trade or maybe an option trade that you want to buy some calls for a couple of day swing trade. If this had pulled all the way back here and then bounced during the day, I love that setup for a multi-day run after that. I'm going to pull up one more. Is Bristol Myers, another slower moving stock, another lower ATR stock. And you can have a stock that's $125 that has multiple days on it, just like we're looking at here. You may not, it doesn't have to be a $40 stock to not move a lot each day. Now here's Bristol Myers. Same, a lot more lines. It doesn't move that much every day. You can actually go to a bigger cloud setting as well to get an even bigger picture. This is our faster moving cloud. So it's going to pick up the shorter term trade times that you want to stay in a trade. It's going to react faster to each movement in the days of the candles. And then we have other clouds that are longer term. There's a difference in looking at a 5-minute chart and a 60-minute chart. This bounce right here, for instance, off the low down here, it closed strong, and the next morning it didn't gap up really. It just opened right here and then gave you a nice day here. It closed out strong, so you can run your scanners at night and pick up stocks that close strong. Now that won't mean anything on a stock that don't have any lines in it that's a big mover, but on a low ATR stock you've got some momentum here, and it went in and closed strong with our force maxed out in the next morning. This stock gapped up. This is where it opened at 9:30. This is where it was at 9:35. At 10 o'clock it didn't just fly, it slowly had a good day, and then it rolled over the next day, gave a reversal candle right at the end of the day, and the next morning it actually gapped down slightly and then did a small sell-off, and that was the whole day. There's another day break. So you can apply the same chart and the same setups like this. Opened. This was the first candle of the day. Now this candle didn't close until 9:44. So between 9:30 and 9:44, this stock went down and made a low of 45.91. This yellow line, the yellow dotted line value is shown in the box over here, and it's our span B line. That's the value of the cloud out to the right. That's our support area. That's an inflection point on our cloud. And that line is at 45.94. The low was 91. So that morning this stock opened, it went down to 91 right off this cloud and gave you a nice little trade here back up to the end of the day around $47 from $46. So this is your lower ATR stocks. They work the same, and you can actually add another candle size right onto this chart. Turn these candles off that are these are about 12.5 cents a piece. You can go to a smaller candle and find the little reversal here on the smaller candle. We just have to show you how to do that. It's very easy to add. We don't want to take any of our data series off our chart because they're calculating these clouds and these indicators. We want to keep those calculating off the bigger settings and then trade with the smaller candles. You can put a 1-minute candle on this chart if you want to and not see this one, but we still have the data on. We have a way to have the candles present without seeing them. And then you can overlay 2-minute candles if that's what you prefer to trade. Now our chart trader works with these type candles as far as our trailing stops and that type thing. Just wanted to share that with you in this video. This is a chart of AGN. A lot of times you'll see me doing the same charts day after day. That's because I trade the same stocks day after day. I know their personalities, and you'll have your own watch list. Our package is created for you to find your own trades. Now, AGN, this is all today's activity. Some of this was very early. We got a pullback here. This was all in the first 5 minutes of trading. You're only over here 10 minutes into the day. This was a quick 5-minute move. I didn't trade any of this. This is where I traded, right here. I waited till everything got settled in, and when it reversed and held this cloud, got back above it. This is my very favorite setup. When I come back down to the line, I've got the blue line is above the yellow dotted line at this time. That means that's this little cloud right out here is already positive. So this is what I'm looking at when this takes place, right here. So I've got this pullback, and if I get a reversal here, I want to take a trade. I don't have to get a reversal. This is a very thin cloud, and the thinner the cloud, the less support it is. So it could have easily sliced through here and continued down. It didn't. It reversed. I took this trade, and I took this trade right here. And the way I did it is I used our bar chart trader to plot the price to make the entry. If you're not using NinjaTrader license copy, you obviously can't trade from the chart, but you can find out where the trade's going to take place using our bar chart trader. It'll tell you right here what it's going to take to make this reversal by placing a simulated order on the chart. It'll give you the value. The value is always 2 bars back up, the high of this bar plus a few cents. That's it, no matter where it is. If it's right here and you want to know what it takes to reverse it, that's what it is. We teach you about how our charts are formed, what it takes to reverse them. I took the trade right here by using that bar chart trader and our ATS wick bars, and they got this really nice run here. This ended up being from like 125.45 up to 127.40. That's about a $2 move there, and I let it stop me out. I stayed in for the whole way, so I kept about $1.30 of that. He gave another pullback. I did not trade this because we were involved in the FOCM meeting. I just kind of stayed out of the way, and then you had this run late in the day. This is at 3:45. So that was my trade right there for the day. You don't have to keep trading one, and you don't have to trade every reversal. You just got to find calmness in the market and a good setup that you're willing to take if it makes the reversal, and you run a trailing stop on this all the way up. There's not a single wick in the bottom of any of these bars. So that means you could run a current bar trail and never got stopped out. That's how clean this is. Sometimes you have one that'll make a wick along the way like this one, but that wasn't the case in that run. This is ALXN. Keep in mind that our lines that are plotted on our charts are plotted at the end of each day. This is, we're running the day inflection points, so they go back. This blue line is what's ended up creating today's inflection point be on tomorrow's chart. So that line wasn't there at the time of this bounce. Just want to remind you of that. This is my same trade up we looked at earlier, setup. We had a run up here. This was early in the morning, spready. I didn't get involved. This is your pullback here from 10:15. Actually, that was 11:15. This stock got right here and closed this bar at 10:19. It closed this bar at 11:15. This is what the beauty of our bars are. You missed this trade if you were sitting here watching for a reversal. You don't know it's going to reverse because it's in an uptrend. There's nothing in the way to tell you it's going to reverse. It sat here this entire time, took an entire hour to reverse. So while it consolidated, you could see all these 1 minute and 5 minute candles doing all kind of crazy stuff. This is just sitting here. When it finally, as you're watching this, you see these wicks coming in this bar, you're like, hey, I think this thing's fixing to give way. What's the trigger? You've set our bar chart trader. It draws you a line right here. It says, there's your trigger, 123.33. Well, it ended up the low of that bar was 123.36. We set it about 3 points under the low of this one. So when that bar got right here is when it created this bar. That would have put you in that trade. No wicks out the top, a current bar trail which you could also do on a sim trade and follow your trail right along with this trade if you wanted to make that trade. I made this trade. I've got the cloud already making this shape over here. It's a positive cloud. I get a pullback. I hold the cloud like it's supposed to. I get my reversal bar and come in right here, 122.83. Run up here about $1, and it gives a reversal, and I'm out. Now, again, the blue line was not there. Now, this line will be on the chart tomorrow because at the end of the day, the blue turned to white. That's tomorrow's inflection created today. This is an inflection point. This is an inflection point. There'll be some orange lines on the charts as well. Other inflection points he's carried back for 10 days. Going to look at a couple of more real quick. This is PANW. This was at 9:31 this morning. Remember, these are carried forward multiple days, so this was our inflection point we plotted on the chart yesterday. This was from day before yesterday, and this line here goes back even further. This is multiple days ago. The orange lines start after the third day, so 4 days or more back. It was rejected that. When it bounced here, it rejected it again, almost to the penny. Gave this sell-off and continued to do this chopping back and forth during the day, which this was a pretty quick move on the FOMC right here. But later on, after all the chopping around after the Fed speaking, this was at 2:45, holding this line really well, the same line that was resistance. This is no different than anything else you ever study. Old resistance, new support. So this is resistance here, it's resistance here, it's resistance here. Now that we've got above it, it becomes a point of support if it can hold. It holds it here, retest it here, holds it again, retest it here the third time, makes a big run up off of it this time. Our trigger, if you did the bar chart trader to tell you where to trade, if you just hold your mouse over the high of that candle plus about 3 cents, there you go. There's your entry, 207.36. That's actually going to be a high of that bar, which was 38. So it would be 38 plus a few cents. Takes you long, and then you get this big run up. Now this bar is plotting through the day and will be tomorrow's white line up here, and these will shift around. I want to show you something. We have an intra-session plots as well. These go back and are created every 2 hours. So when you start the morning, you have plots on the chart. So this morning when we opened, this was the last bar of the day, the next to the last bar of the day. So we put this inflection point in between 2 and 4. We put this one in for the action between 12 and 2. We put this one in for the action between 10 and 12, and we carried it forward. So as the morning opened, at 10 o'clock, you create another bar. Another 2 hour bar closes. So at 10 o'clock, all of a sudden we change color. It's 4 bars ago now, and it's orange. That value is 209.51. It'll stay there all day. Now, as hours change, that bar's going back further, but from 4 bars back to 10 bars back, we keep them orange. This big run up this afternoon, look at where it stopped. 209.51's the number. The high was 209.50. Inflection point charting from active trader setups. We're going to look at one more, and that's all we got today, and it's going to be VRTX. We're going to look at VRTX on both the intra-session inflection points as well as the day. This was the intra-session. It's afternoon, so this was created between 10 and 12. This became the white line. Before that, it was a blue dotted line. You can see this line is lining up perfectly with this cloud. So we pull back and we've held it, and it's chopping around here. It breaks out, but it don't go very far. Pulls back again, tests this twice. I'm showing this because I want to show you how you can retake this trade. Okay, we're going to switch to the day as well. I want to see both at the same time. I'm going to back this up to the same area we were at right here. We're holding. We don't have, of course, the white line because that was created intra-session. This is our cloud that we sat on and we've had trouble with. But you can see these wicks are holding this line. Now, this is not the yellow. Yellow dotted line represents the current cloud value, not the cloud value, the current cloud to the right. This cloud value, if you want to know what it is, you just move your mouse back to when the yellow dotted line was lining up with it, and it'll put it right in the box over here. And that box value is 178.56. What's our low right here? 178.58. What's our low right here? 178.58. So this is consolidating. It's holding this within 2 cents. This is a $178 stock, and our charts are telling you high probability holding area within pennies. Now, if you want to take this trade, but you say, well, I've got all these wicks, first you take our bar chart trader. You say, I want a long trail. It'll put you a green line on the chart and give you the exact value. Or you could say stable long, and what our stable long requires is a bar closed without a wick on the bottom. So if you chose stable long, it will be when this bar closes right here, which is also the high of this candle, so it works out pretty well. That's where your trade's going to be, 179.20 after this bar closes. So 179.20 puts you in that trade. You get a nice run up. It does do a little consolidation pullback, and if you were running a 2-bar trail on a doji, you would have stopped out. You can get back in, or you can run a hard stop. If you got something running, you don't have to trail it exactly. You can use our bar chart trader to continue to use this scenario to move your stops. But if you think you've got a nice trade going and you want to try to stay in it, you can pull your stop back and give it some room. Now, if you do, of course, you run a chance of giving back your profit. And, of course, look at what time this is. This is FOMC. This is 2 o'clock. That's why you got that chop right there. It did continue on up. Whether I'd have got in it after that is very doubtful because of all the turmoil and the volatility with the Fed. But this was the trade, gets you here, and you would know you would probably want to get out at 2 o'clock anyway and let the Fed speak. I didn't trade anymore the rest of the day. Thanks for watching our video. Stay tuned for these videos. We're going to put them out 2 to 3 times a week, or 3 to 4 times a week. And they're a teaching tool for our traders, as well as to educate you on what we do at daytradersetups.com if you're a guest watching our video. Daytradersetups.com is a company that owns activetradersetups.com. Both the websites are the same. They represent our product and our trading package. Go over and find out more about it. Thanks again for watching our video. Again, this is the trading and training series where we look at our chart and indicator setups. Active Trader Setups trading package at Day Trader Setups Company, home of the ATS Bar Chart Trader, ATS Inflection Points. We also have futures, VPOC scanners, and VPOC charts. Thanks for watching our video. Plan to watch these videos on a regular basis and subscribe to our channel while you're here, and you'll be notified every time we put out a new video. Thanks again.